Host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for this.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Bebe Means Business Show. As always, I'm your host, Bebe Clement, and I'm raring to go with another program. First of all, I want to thank everybody who tuned in last week to our episode of Monetizing Your Network, and the repeat shows for that and for every other show that we have had in the past. You can find them on YouTube, on the Bebe Means Business Show YouTube channel. All the past episodes are on there. Okay, so I also want to thank you for all your feedback and everything in relation to the show. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank also your commitment to the program, because we have been on an upward trajectory in relation to the numbers or the figures of the people that watch the program or listening to the program. And a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated 11,000 listeners. 11,000 listeners. So I really want to say thank you so much for your commitment to the show and to the brand. Keep listening, keep telling other people. Thank you for all the feedback that comes back. Thank you for voting the show that you like the best. It really helps us carve the program to suit you best and to get all the information and help that you need. Now, I know this is a show with a global listenership, but no matter where you are in the world, things are beginning to look increasingly dire from an economic point of view. I mean, there's no escaping that. There's no fine-tuning that. That is the reality. We in the UK, in particular, where I am based, are being daily bombarded with warnings of coming doom and gloom. And I want to take a few minutes to see where we are in the UK, not to scare you, honestly, not to scare you, but to prepare you. It's important that you are prepared for what is coming in the very near future, so that you can get your house in order and not play games with your financial future. Not play games. Okay. So regular listeners will know that part of the mission of this program is also to improve our financial literacy. And part of that is understanding the lingo or the language surrounding money. The lingo or the language surrounding money. Okay, we have a couple of guests online today, so we're going to come to them in a minute. But can I just ask the guests to mute themselves, because there's some interference coming in. Thank you. Okay. So yes, so I want to just show you a bit of the language of the financial circumstances in which we are in, so that when you hear this language, you know what this means, and it doesn't go over your head, because it has an impact for your life and for my life. So for those of you who have never heard this term before, and I know a lot of you have, we are in the time of what economists have coined a phrase called VUCA. And VUCA mainly stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. I'm going to say that again. There's a term coined by economists called VUCA, and it stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Now, the reason why I raise that is because it is important for you to know that the market has changed. Everything is different. Post-COVID, everything is different. There's so much volatility such that they can no longer predict what is going to happen. When previously economists would say, okay, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, this is what is going to happen. That's pretty much gone out the window, because the markets are just so volatile and uncertain now, and complex. Because there's so many unforeseen factors that are now affecting economies that you just can no longer predict. So, for instance, a very simple example is the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This was not foreseen, and it wasn't factored in when they were making their predictions. and especially the kind of effect that it has had on us was not predictable. So it's important that you get to terms with those kind of that kind of lingo, so that you know exactly what they're talking about when you hear it on the news or you're reading a magazine or whatever. So we in UK are facing increasing runaway energy prices, and it is predicted that the average UK home will be spending between £3,000 and £4,000 next year on energy bills. Now, when you consider that the average annual UK income is about £31,400, add to that the UK CPI is currently at a 40-year high of 10.1%. We have never had inflation like this in recent years, 10.1%. And I think it's about 8% in the US. So the UK is not standing alone in this. In the US, it's about 18%. It's about 8%. And in Nigeria, don't even get me started. It's some ridiculous amount. I think it's about 30% at the moment, but some ridiculous amount. So for those of you who don't know what the CPI is, I'm going to do a very quick run through so that, again, when you hear it on the news, you know what they're talking about and the effect that it has on your life, because it's important that you know. So a CPI is like a measure of inflation. It's one of the indicators of inflation. And this is how it works. So every month, the government will take a measure of a basket of things that you and I need to survive. Not to have a great